Hello, this is a follow-up video to my previous video where I went through the cost and ease of ordering the CCS1 adapter from South Korea. In that video I went through the charging rate and cost that I was able to get using the adapter. In this video I really want to compare how the rate and in particular the cost per kilowatt hour at DC fast chargers using the adapter compares to using a Tesla Supercharger. The 4 times that I tested out the adapter are shown on the map below. First, I used an Electrify Canada station in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Then I used a ATCO charging station on the Trans-Canada Highway on the way to Canmore or Banff National Park. I also tried out a Petro-Canada station, also on the Trans-Canada. All of those were in June. And then on Canada Day, I tried out a Electrify Canada station in Canmore. I was able to get about 45 kilowatts at the first 3 tests with my adapter. It was only on Canada Day when I did pre-condition the battery that I was able to get a higher charging rate of about 85 kilowatts. This was done or tested both with the 150 station and the 350 station. It didn't matter which one I used. I got the same result in Canmore at the Electrify Canada station. Now a summary of the speed and costs are as follows. Most of the time I was getting about 45 cents per kilowatt hour, except for the very first time when I was being charged the highest rate at Electrify Canada, but only getting the 45 kilowatts. Now I was really hoping to get a cost that would be much less than Tesla. I was hoping at Petro-Canada or Electrify Canada, if I was able to get 125, 130 kilowatts, the cost could be down to under 40 cents per kilowatt hour. At the ATCO station, the max was 50 kilowatts, so there wasn't much more to be gained at the ATCO station. So this gave me a bit of a baseline, and then I went to a golden supercharger. And this is the breakdown of my charging session. I was charged for 1 minute at the highest rate, 9 minutes I was charged at the second highest rate, tier 3, and then the last 7 minutes I was down to tier 2. Now I know from looking at the car, I started at about 208 kilowatts at the very beginning. We went inside to the washroom and at Tim Hortons, and when I came out, we were about 77, 78 kilowatts when I stopped the charging session. So this works out to, again, roughly in that 40 cents per kilowatt hour range. The battery pack finished at about 77% and I started at about 30%. So I'm assuming I roughly put 47% into the battery. So a 75 kilowatt hour pack times that 47% means I was roughly receiving 35 kilowatt hours. Okay. So that works out to a cost per kilowatt hour of the $14.87 Canadian divided by 35 kilowatt hours, and that was $42 per kilowatt hour. So pretty comparable, which tells me that it really doesn't matter where I charge. I'm likely to be paying around the 42 cents. but the supercharger is just way more convenient. I don't have to fumble with apps, I don't have to fumble with the adapter. I just pull in and charge and away I go. So I was in Golden, Alberta, Canada. I knew there was an Electrify Canada station just up the road, so I figured hit the Tesla Supercharger. If for some reason it's full, move on and use the Electrify Canada as a backup. I'm not going to be saving any money by going to Electrify Canada. Now I did try to do some rough math with breaking down the 4 tiers and what, is there a benefit to charging at a certain tier, going longer or stopping early? And there really wasn't. If I include tax in the tier rates, I paid $1.60 for the minute in my first tier, and I estimated that I got 3.4 kilowatt hours. Now I'm using the peak charging rate that I saw in my car of about 208 kilowatts for doing my math. The second tier, I spent 9 minutes at that tier. With tax, it was $9, and I estimated 22.5 kilowatt hours. Now, what made the math, the costs work out, was I used 150 kilowatts, slightly above the mid-range of tier 3 for this charger. The 7 minutes I spent at the lowest tier that I charged at, tier 2, was about $4.27, including the 5% GST here in Alberta, and I estimated 9.3 kilowatt hours. Now I know the car finished at about 77, 78 kilowatts, so I used 80 kilowatts as my average charging rate to get the kilowatts for the 7 minutes. And not surprisingly, you still get somewhere in the 47 cents. So if you look at cents per kilowatt hour, it was 47 for that 1 minute. This probably has the most error because it's just 1 minute of charging. The tier 3 came out to about 40 cents, and the tier 2 came out a little higher at 45 cents. So it really doesn't matter what tier you're charging at or what type of station at, you're going to be paying somewhere in the 40 cents. With the Tesla Superchargers, if you're charging at the highest rate within the tier, you're getting the best deal. So that's probably the only way you could get into the 30 cents would be if you're at tier 4 and you're pulling down the full 250 and you've stopped at the end of the 250, you're probably going to be in the 38 or 39 cents per kilowatt hour. So with a bunch of testing, pretty much got a very similar result. I will be using my adapter as a backup, but I will be certainly going to Tesla Superchargers for the convenience, the ease, no taking out apps and fumbling with what station number I'm at. I did find that a little annoying at Electrify Canada. I now know where to look for the charging station numbers, but they're just the last digit or so at the end of the station number. So they should be nice, big, large numbers, but they're not. So that can be a pain. So Supercharger is the winner.